Action.
Hi girls, it's Grandma. First of all, Grandma and Grandpa are really happy that you came today to visit us. But I've been promising for a long time to teach you Sunday school. And since we can't go to Sunday school, Grandma's going to tell you a story. Now, if you can see, I have a lot of lions here. They're all so cute. There's even a little tiny baby one. So I wonder if you guys can guess what story I'm going to tell you about from Sunday school. I'm going to put this little lion right here like this. It's my little buddy. It's a story about a special man named Daniel and you guessed it, the lion's den. Now we know that these are really cute lions and they're so soft and sweet. But you know what? The real lions didn't really look like this. They looked more like this. Like the picture Grandma has. Now, so we're going to talk about Daniel and the lion's den. Now, everybody sit down nice and quiet. Don't be poking Sydney. Now, you know you need to sit still. Elise, I know you're smiling. Sophia. And even if you can get little Ellie in there, that would be awesome. Okay, it starts like this. This is a story about Daniel. He actually came to Babylon and with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. I think you remember those three boys. And each king that came went and liked these men because they were honest and they were hard workers. They were always given the most important jobs, which made the other workers of the king jealous. So it's okay if you have important jobs. Being a hard worker is very good and important. Jesus likes that. So this time the king's name was Darius. That's an interesting name, Darius. And he also liked Daniel. He knew that Daniel was a good worker. So he decided to put Daniel in charge. Oh, that's good. Of the whole country. Can you imagine? The whole country, kind of like our president. The other servants of the king were very jealous of Daniel. And they tried to find something that would get him in trouble. Have you ever had that? Where somebody was always trying to get you in trouble? Yeah. So that's not fun. And I'm sure Daniel didn't like it. They were trying to get him fired. Can you imagine? But Daniel didn't care. He obeyed God. So they couldn't find anything wrong with him. Well, finally, you know what these men did? They said to each other, we can't find any reason to get rid of Daniel or get him fired. So you know what? The only way we could get him to disobey the king was if we made a law against his God. Ooh, they knew Daniel was very, very, very in love with God and would do anything for God, would do nothing against God. And they knew that. So they went to King Darius and said, "Oh, great king, you are wonderful. No one should pray to anybody else but you." And the king went, that is an excellent idea. It sounds great. And the men were all like, yay, we finally got Daniel caught. Because they knew that Daniel loved God above everything else. So all of the workers had agreed that this should be done. And that nobody else would pray to any other god but only to the king, to King Darius, or they would be thrown in the lion's den. They wouldn't be cute and cuddly like this. They'd be like that picture of that lion, and they're big and angry. So the workers lied and said that everyone who worked for the king agreed. But of course, they didn't talk to anybody. They never even told Daniel. The king didn't know this, though. So they made the law, and it couldn't be changed. When Daniel heard about the new law, he did what he always did. He went home to a room upstairs, and he opened up the windows and looked over the city. And 3 times a day, he went there and went down on his knees and prayed to God, just like he always had. Well, these men got so angry when they saw Daniel's house and saw him and found him praying to his God. They ran to the king and said, "You know what Daniel's doing? He's ignoring you. He's ignoring your commandment. And we saw him praying in his house to his God 3 times." And the king heard this. He was very sad. He really, really liked Daniel, and he didn't want him to die. He tried everything to get the law changed to stop Daniel from going into the lion's den. But the men came to him and reminded him, the law can't be changed. Daniel must be punished. So at the end of the day, the king gave the order, and he's like, oh, he's so upset. They brought Daniel in, and they threw him into the lion's den. Now, a lion's den was a big, 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 big hole in the ground. And there was all these lions in there. And they wouldn't feed them for days, so that when they threw somebody in there, the lions would eat them up just like that. The king was so upset that he had to do this to his friend, but it was his law. And he was so upset, so they threw him in there, and the last thing the king said was, I hope your God you serve, Daniel, will save you. I pray that he will rescue you. And they put a real big heavy stone over the hole. So now Daniel's laying in this hole, and it's dark, and all he can hear is the rustle of the lions and the growling. And he doesn't know what's going to happen. And he can't sleep. And he's just sitting there. But Daniel did something that we always should do. He started to pray. King Darius was at home worried and pacing back and forth and didn't want to be bothered and wouldn't eat or drink. He's like, oh, I hope Daniel's God helps him. In the meantime, Daniel's sitting in this dark, dark hole with these animals. And all of a sudden, the sun got closer, and the king got up and ran to the lion's den, because King Darius was so worried about him. And the king quietly rolled the rock away. And as he got closer, he shouted, Daniel, has your God who you serve prayed and rescued you from the lions? The king waited quietly. Then all of a sudden Daniel said, O king, live forever. My God sent an angel, and he shut the mouths of the lions. They did not hurt me, and I have done nothing wrong. The king jumped with joy. Yay! Immediately he ordered Daniel to be removed from the den. And when Daniel was lifted from the den, there was not even a scratch on him, because he trusted God, and God took care of him. And the king knew that the other men had tricked him into punishing Daniel, so he punished them. After that, the king made a new law. He said, Daniel's God is great, and I order that everyone in the kingdom respect the Lord God who rescued Daniel from the hungry lion's den. You see, girls, it always pays to always be obedient to your parents, to your mom and dad, and obedient to God, because God will always take care of you, because that's what Daniel did. He was obedient to God, and God took care of him in a really scary time, in a time where all these lions could have ate him, and he didn't. He protected them. So, now Grandma sent a box with Mom and Daddy, a little container that's got a little craft in it, and I put some instructions in there. And Sophia, you told me you wanted to be a teacher, so I want you to practice, and I want you to help the girls make these little lions. And there's a plate in there for Ellie to color. And you other girls, Elise and Sydney, I want you to help Sophia and work together. And there's some worksheets in there too that would be a lot of fun for you to do. Now remember, when you're done with your craft and you're done with everything, you can keep the craft, but put the scissors and the crayons and the glue sticks back in the container. All right. Well, goodbye for now. I love you, and I hope you have fun. Yay!